Okay, everyone, today we are going to take a look at the template drawing. A couple things with this drawing. We now have 1/8 of an inch measurements. So we have like a 7/8 measurement here, 2 1/8, 2 1/8. So just be aware of that, 4 7/8. First step, though, is going to be the same as the last two. We need to find our center of our part, and we need to find all the center marks of the template. The template is kind of like a circle template that you guys have that you started using in the last drawing. For this drawing, we're going to actually turn the paper vertically. Okay, so turn it vertically. I have the 1/2 inch side on the right. And then to find the middle of the paper, it's 8.5 by 11. So I measured over 4 1/4. So from this left edge, I measured over 4 1/4, and then 5.5 up. And same thing, it could be 5.5 down, 4 1/4 from this edge. So basically 4 1/4 and then 5.5 down to find the center. And then from there, you need to find the other center marks. So for instance, this one here, I can go up 2 1/8 and then over 7/8. So I have this 2 1/8 dimension here, and then I know it goes 7/8 over. So maybe I'll get these two first. So I got to measure up 2 1/8 to this point, and then over 7/8 to that point. So I'm going to start with that. Now again, this is an 1/8 inch measurement. So you'll notice that when you measure up, you're going to be like in the middle of a grid because we're using 1/4 inch grid. So that's if you get that, that's right. And then I'm going to go now to the left, 7/8 of an inch, which puts me right here. I'm going to make a little mark. And then I'm also going to go to the right, 7/8 of an inch. And I'm going to put 2 little center marks. So you notice these 2 center marks here are in the middle of the 1/4 inch grid because, again, it's 7/8 measurement. I'm going to erase that little mark. Now, I also got to get these 2. So I can go over to the left and over to the right. Now, it doesn't tell us exactly what that measurement is, but if you do the math and add 1 1/4 plus 7/8, that would get you the measurement from the middle to the side, or from the middle to the right side, or the middle to the left side. So 7/8 plus 1 1/4, that's actually also 2 1/8. So I need to measure over 2 1/8 to the left, which puts me right here. Again, you're going to be in the middle of a box, or actually you'll be kind of in the middle of a box, and then 2 1/8 to the right. Okay, so now I just got to get the bottom one, and that one is also 2 1/8. 2 1/8 straight down. Okay, so now I have all of my center points. The big one in the middle, and then the 5 that are around. So maybe now what I'll start to do is start drawing in some of the circles. Now I'm not going to draw all of them in on this demo. This dimension here says 5/8 drill. Drill means diameter. Okay, and then 5 holes means there's 5 of them. So we don't, like this one doesn't have a dimension on them. Because we put 5 holes under here, that takes care of all 5 of these. So I need to find my 5/8 diameter template, which is right here. I need to center it. Now do a good job centering this one because the grid is going to be slightly, you're not going to be on the grid completely like the last one because we're working with 1/8 inch measurements on a 1/4 inch grid. So I can draw that one in. Let's see, I'll do this bottom one. So again, these are 5/8 diameter. Here, I'll do this left one here. All right, and you get the idea. I'm not going to do all the rest of them. The one in the middle is 2 1/2. The big one in the middle here. That's 2 1/2 diameter. Okay, now one other measurement I want to talk about is 5/8 radius. Notice this curve here is a 5/8 radius. That's part of a circle. So we have another circle there. Now remember, if it's a 5/8 radius, you need to multiply that by 2. So 5/8 times 2 actually equals 1 1/4 inches. So to draw this curve right here, you need to use the 1 1/4 inch template. So again, because it's a 5/8 radius, We multiply that by 2, gives us 1 1/4 inches. So I'm going to take my 1 1/4 inch template, center it on there, and I'm only going to draw the upper left corner, just like that. Okay, and then same thing. If I was doing the other side here, I'll put the little 5/8 diameter hole in there. 1 1/4 inch template. Get it centered on there nice. And I draw that one. Okay, next thing you need to do is get the 2 sides, these 1 inch lines on the sides. And so 5.5. So the entire part is 5.5 inches wide. Well, if you divide that by 2, you get 2 3/4. So 2 3/4 is half of 5.5. So that would be the distance then from the middle to the side. So I'm going to measure over from the middle, 2 3/4, make a little mark here. Actually, now that I'm at 0 there, I can make a mark over here at 5.5. Okay, and each of those lines is 1 inch. Okay, so now I have those 2 sidelines. Actually, here, I'm just going to put this last little 5/8 circle in here too. Okay, so I have those 1 inch lines, and double check that they are 5.5 inches apart. Good. All right, next thing I'm going to do is this curve. This is 1 1/4 inch radius. So again, you got to multiply that by 2. Multiply this by 2 to figure out what curve you're going to use. So I'm going to let you guys figure that one out. So 1 1/4 inch times 2. You will not use the 1 1/4 inch template. Look at how small that is. That's not going to work. When you find the correct template, you want to take the bottom tick mark here, line it up with the top of that 1 inch line, like that. And I'm going to draw the line from this tick mark to that tick mark and stop at this tick mark. So you're just drawing 1/4 of it. You'll notice there's a little space left over. That's okay. You did it right. You're going to connect that yourself with your ruler. And while I'm at it, I'll also connect up here too. So that little space that's left over, you just connect it yourself. All right, we also need to get the very bottom of this. I know that it's 4 7/8 from the middle to the bottom. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to measure from the center of this hole straight down. Well, I guess I can go from the middle here. Straight down 4 7/8. And that'll tell me where the bottom is. All right, so 4 7/8 is right here. Make a little mark. Now, I don't know the length of that line. It doesn't tell me how long this line is. So for now, I'm just going to make a little mark. And actually, I'll draw a line, roughly like that. And then I can always make it longer or trim it up if needed. Okay, the last thing, we need to draw the angle in there. It's a 45-degree angle starting from this point if you're doing the left side, or this point if you're doing the right side. So I'm going to take my triangle, my 45-degree triangle. Again, make sure you're using the correct triangle. Line it up at this point here. Make sure you're straight at the bottom. It's not crooked. And you're going to draw this line down. And actually, you're going to go right to where it intersects with this random line I drew here. Now, on the left side, I actually did pretty good. I drew it about the right length. Now, this one, same thing. Start here, draw it down, and where it intersects right there. So this one I got to erase a little bit. So I would take my eraser shield and erase that a little bit. And then while I'm at it, I'll just finish up that last side. So this is, again, the 2.5 template, if you didn't get that earlier, because I took 1 1/4 inch, multiplied it by 2. That little space that's left over, I'm going to connect it myself. Okay, so again, take your time, do a good job. That's what it'll look like when you're done with the part. In the next video, I will show you how to put the center lines on and dimensions.